What's up, beautiful people? I'm back in the building with another video. I hope you're doing well. We're going to do Neo today. Homeboy was catching so much hell from his baby mama, Sade, right? This is the woman. I know people get them confused. This is the woman that he had not one, but two children with on his wife while he was married to Crystal Smith, all right? They look like sisters. Obviously, that was a type for him, or that is a type for him. But this woman went sideways on him, and clearly there was some sort of domestic situation. She's claiming that he body slammed her, but he called the police on her. Actually, on the video, she's the aggressor, right? To be fair, she is the aggressor. She is provoking, and I understand she's mad, and you can use whatever excuse you want to use, but you were definitely in that situation provoking. And you were definitely in that situation being the aggressor and actually verbally and emotionally abusive. All right. So we're going to call a spade, even though we may not agree with how he handled his marriage and his relationship with his wife. And we may not agree with how he's even managing his kids, because she's claiming that this is one of the reasons why she went off, is because he is, choosing prostitutes and his other women over his children, right? He can't even spend time with his children because the women are there. So I can only surmise, just without even pulling one card, this is all stemming from probably multiple issues that they are having privately. But it didn't help the fact that he was on TMZ holding two women's hands, talking about they should legalize people to get married to more than one person. And she just sat here and had, babies with you, right? But that's really on her, right? Because at the end of the day, you lose them. How you get them? It's called karma, right? What goes around comes around. I noticed she was using some wording about, full moon and all that. If you're into spirituality, you should know that. The universe always gives you what you get, right? What you dish out. So we're going to get into this reading and talk about this and pull some cards on this. Why was she really making a scene over there? Was it really about the kids? Was it about the other women? Is it two things could be true at the same time? What's happening that made her go to that house and do what she did? I can definitely say when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is wild. And he was actually remaining really calm. So again, her name is Sade, S-A-D-E. Spirit, give me the energy around Neo and his baby mama, Sade. She has two children with him. She went to his house and put him on, what do they say? This is from Neighborhood Talk. Neo's baby's mama, Sade, blasts him for allegedly having drugs and prostitutes at his house while his kids are there. His wife, right, his ex-wife, she blasted him for having prostitutes as well. So I don't think that she's lying about that part. That's a very similar story. Give me the energy around what's going on with Neo. Is he happy? Like, is he truly happy now that he's out of his marriage and he's moved on? And what's happening? What's going on with his spirit? So he has the Ace of Pentacles. He has the Page of Swords. He has the Knight of Pentacles. He has the Six of Wands. He has the Queen of Wands. They have in their messages here, this is the Nine of, the Eight of Swords, sorry. And the Three of Cups. I'm going to say this. Neo is enjoying, baby, Neo is enjoying. He might be enjoying a little too much that little third party situation. It's right here in his Three of Cups, right? If you can see the Three of Cups. He over there enjoying life, baby, celebrating, friends, building his little, tribe over there. He is enjoying the moment, right? He is enjoying all the fruits of the labor. This represents, liking the energy that it gives him, the feeling that it gives him, being surrounded by women who desire him and he desires them. He feeling like that big man with his chest out at this point, right? But it is causing some issues with his baby's mother, because you can see in his messages here and here, and even here, that means that he's making some promises that he can't keep. So I guess we might as well get started. Third party energy is here, which means he's having more than one relationship. We saw those two women. It could be other women as well. Third party, I see three. Okay. He's enjoying it. He's enjoying the moment. He's enjoying his freedom. He's enjoying, and I'm not saying he doesn't ever miss Crystal, right? We're going to ask, does he sometime deep down miss her? But right now, this man is enjoying life. This man is enjoying what he's got going on. He feels like he's, finally able to kind of be in the type of relationship he wants to be in without hiding and ducking and diving, dodging, right? So it's almost like saying, if he can maintain this successfully, this is what he'll try to do. He and those women, they get along well, actually. Now, I don't know how long that's going to last. This could be a year. I see 1 year. At this point, they're getting along relatively well as a group, and they're connecting together. I do feel that's why I say 3 women. I do feel outside of those 2 women, she was classified, those 2 women we saw, he may be bringing women in that are considered what? Prostitutes, if you will, right? She's calling them that, but he does have an energy here around meeting people in a certain type of way. That is, of course, causing concern, right? Causing concern. The problem that I'm having, if you look at her, the messages around her first issue is the jealousy, right? Because in her Queen of Wands, this is all about her being what? Jealous and insecure and feeling restricted. But again, the way you got them is the way you lose them. I think, of course, the kids are a part of it, but this is why you go back to court. You have a court system where you can put certain, file certain motions in order to put certain things in place to protect safeguard your kids. You don't go to the house, get into a big fight, turn the camera on, and go sideways. And now this is all over social media where this could have been handled privately, because at the core of it, you having your messages, you were jealous. And even in here, this talks about you got upset too because he was saying he was going to take care of he was going to make this adjustment or make that adjustment or not make this adjustment or that adjustment, and you got upset. Because remember, in that part of the conversation, she said, why did we go there? What did I ask you to do? And when you see that message here, which is your Page of Swords in reverse, is all talk, no action, right? Undelivered promises. So this is why she's upset too. But you're not saying, at the core of it, she has this particular message, and also too, she's being demanding. How you going into somebody else's space doing that? You take your kids and you go, right? Because it turns into what? Either swords energy, which could represent what? It starts to get severe, and it starts to become an issue where you could lose your freedom behind your behavior, right? I don't feel that, I feel she's going to continue, maybe not as publicly. I don't feel this is over for her. Like, she may have talked to her dad and calmed herself down and said it was a full moon in the year of truth. I believe all of that too, but but the point is, she's standing on what she said. I think she's going to probably do it from a different perspective. But at the core of this, to answer a couple of things, is he, at this point in his life, does he feel a sense of feeling like he's kind of like just living his life? Yes. Is he enjoying this ride that he's taking with these other women? Yes. Does he like having his freedom? Yes. Does he like his baby mamas trying to tear him apart? No. Why was she really there? Because she was jealous, right? I could see here, she feels that he playing in her face too. Because when you look at this message here, this represents feeling like she feels that he's taunting. And this could be a taunt. This could be and especially somebody's passive aggressive, and especially in that all talk, no action, undelivered promises. It can make a person just, blow up, because then it's almost like this person is really passive aggressively doing things and making promises that he's not keeping. Then when I'm blowing up, now I'm the bad guy, right? It happens all the time. But I'm trying to answer multiple things at one time, and I do feel like they're going to continue to have some challenges along the way. I don't feel like he hasn't been paying his child support or his support towards the kids. I do feel like that's in place. But I think it's more about the time that he spends. So let's ask that question. Give me the energy around. Is he, because he does have like undelivered promises. Are there times he's failing to like cooperate in terms of, but she does have an air of demanding, right? Is he having actual prostitutes in the area? Give me the energy around. I should see women, but is it actual people that he's paying? Because he does have in his messages, he had a couple of messages that did say some of these women are almost like, around him, and they'll, maybe they get little, money and gifts and services and stuff. He has he has in his messages, a lot of money cards around him. So I could probably say that there have been times where he's had people over that they had more of an arrangement with, right? Versus a relationship, because he has a here, and here, right? Come over, we hang out, we do this, we do that. Person could be in a certain type of lifestyle that would classify them as that. But Sade, what were you like? Honestly, I mean, I don't know you a whole lot, but based on your Instagram, you look like a, I'm just saying, looking like an Instagram thought, I don't know, in my opinion, not too far away from what you're trying to say. But in the messages, it does give it an air of, maybe a couple of the people that he's around, that he has around him, or not necessarily his girlfriends, but more so like sometimes, and I'm not talking about the two women he had in his hand, because the two women that he was with, they have 3 of Cups together. That means he's in a relationship with them. But there is an air around the potential for him to be having people around that may just be there for the good time and not the long term. Okay, so this is what this does represent. Give me the energy around Neil. Does he even love Sade? How does he, what is he promising her? What is he saying to her? Because he have promises that he can't keep, undelivered promises. What is he saying to her in terms of his connection? I think he's giving her sometimes mixed signals, right? Because when you look at some of these messages here, this could be, how I feel about you. I care about you. I love you. But then he has the 4 of Wands and the 4 of Cups. That means a person could be gaslighting you, right? A person could be making you feel like it's not over for us yet. There's still, we just never know, right? Make you, making you feel a certain type of way, like there could be hope at some point. But then at the same time telling you we're not really together, right? There's a lot of people that's in those types of relationship where you're dealing with the person, you're not really together with them, but they telling you that they care about you. But if the moment you tell them something about what they're doing, they have a problem with it, that's what she's going through, right? I do feel like he does show up in his energy, showing some level at one point of emotion or love towards her. But it's not unconditional and it's not long lasting. And she's an option. She's one of the options in his life, even though she has kids. This man shows in his messages, regardless of what he was telling her, that he had no real intentions on really building a life for her. He's still looking, right? He has in his messages the 7 of Cups. He likes he likes new relationships. He likes the new energy. He likes new love. He likes the fantasy and he likes to kind of just be having those choices now. But this man has in his messages, whether he was with his wife or not, and even though he could have been talking, he is never in his past or in his future position. This talks about he was never going to commit to her, and it looks like he'll probably never commit to her. Because even in her future position, it talks about the opportunity to have that type of life together is not there. And that he will continue to behave the way he's behaving. And he sees her as one of his options in his 7 of Cups in his rotation, right? And he needs to be careful. Don't have any conversations with her about the relationship. If it's not about the kids, it shouldn't be a conversation. It should be strictly always about the kids. Not past hurts, not past feelings, not feelings that we feel today. I've always loved you, but you do this to me, that if it ain't about what's going on with kid 1 and kid 2, we ain't talking about it. Because when people start getting into those conversations, it starts to get a little muddled. I do feel she loves him, and this is hence the reason why that she got upset. And I do feel he still has feelings for her, but again, it's not unconditional, right? It's not unconditional. What's crazy, that Ace of Cups is, and this is what's crazy, they going through all of this and all this drama. That Ace of Cups is actually a baby card. That Ace of Cups could mean, even after all this drama, this man could still get you pregnant again if you allow it, right? Or still connect with you, and then turn around in his 4 cups and still not be with you again. You don't want to be a person that's having baby number 3 and the person is still not committing, right? So she does have a message in here. They have a message in here together that represents still a connection, but that connection, can have one little passionate night, and the next thing you know, a baby coming, he's still not committing to you. Will Leo ever commit to Sade? Give me the energy. Will he ever settle down and say, you know what, Sade is the person for me. She is the love of my life. I was all wrong. Will he ever do that? And he has the 4 Pentacles in reverse. That is, to me, that represents a hindrance, an obstacle. This is what that talks about. When you look at that, that talks about that person wants to have their cake and they want to eat it too. Her best bet is to protect herself and to protect her energy, and don't look for any relationship with him, and don't even slip up with him, because guess what? He's never going to commit to you in that way. Things do change, but this is showing hindrance in that aspect, right? So that's that. Give me the energy around, Neo. Is he like, she claimed he's indulging. Is that true? Indulging could be drinking. It could be drugs. Is he actually indulging? What's that looking like for Neo? I feel like he definitely be partying. I do feel like he be definitely doing, he's got, as much as he feels happy, he's in self-destructive mode, right? So in his messages, he's enjoying those women, he's enjoying this, and he's enjoying that, and he's in the moment, he's going here and he's going there. But he has in his messages, he has a little bit of self-destructive energy, and it's here, right? And then it's also here, right? This is what it talks about. That can also talk about, like, if he doesn't get this lady under control, what's happening and all his personal business, that just makes him, it just brings his brand down. He'll still have opportunities, but it just brings his brand down. He has a huge fan base that loves him regardless. But this is what it talks about. I do feel like as much as he is enjoying this freedom and these other women, he does miss the stability of having a wife. And I think that's also, too, some of the reasons why he is spiraling a little bit. Because as much as that freedom feels good and he's in his zone and he feels like he does have his messages deep down underneath, that self-destructive has a lot to do with him losing that structure that he had. And therefore now it's almost like saying he's kind of done a little spiral. So even though, and he has the Tower moment on the back of his hand. So even though in his short term in front of him, he feels like, I'm at my purpose, I'm finally free, I ain't doing this, I ain't gotta, he still has a self-destructive aspect there that is connected to self-destructive behaviors. And those self-destructive behaviors can be what? A lack of cooperation with his baby mamas, disregard for consequences, not doing what he's expected to do, making hasty decisions, changing, these all things could happen. People could feel like he's not the Neo that they used to know, that he's betraying them. Even the baby mama, when she spoke today, this to me shows in the messages, she's been having some problems with him too, to some degree cooperating. She's been having some issues with him too, doing certain things that she needs him to do and being in alignment. And this is why he has that message here, because that represents she's picking up the slack. The other lady's picking up the slack as it relates to the kids, because he is getting off track. And again, he does have a message around self-destructive. So when you see somebody on the surface, they may look like they have it all together, that they are having the best time of their life, but underneath it all, there's a self-destructive aspect to it, and it's here in his messages. So it feels like the ladies in his life, is the ones that had children for him, I have children for him, they're holding down the fort while he's doing all of this stuff. And he does have, again, that message there around not making promises that he can't keep as it relates to agreements. And it almost makes you feel like too, like even Crystal may have had some concerns or issues, the same similar issues with him having people around the children, or some concerns too. So does he still, I was about to ask, does he still have love for Crystal? He has in his messages, let's just pull these because I was about to ask that. I think he could, in his messages, he shows up with a little bitterness. And I do feel that even though, and he does also have in his messages, he wasn't emotionally ready to be in that marriage. He shouldn't have been in that because he was living a double life in his, a double life, right? He wasn't ready. I do feel like the marriage became a dark thing for him. I do feel like he, even though, he has this strong front, I definitely feel like this affected him. This represents temporary depression, and then feeling like you failed at the marriage. I do feel in the messages that, again, he has a certain level of immaturity. I do also feel like, sometimes he deep down, and I'm not saying he's expecting them to get back together, but this is wishful thinking, right? Sometimes people can fantasize about what that could have been. I feel like even though he was living a double life by him having a wife and a children in a home, he had a little bit more stability, right? Because he did come home and start balancing himself. So, he does have, again, the self-destructive thing. Does Crystal, let's ask that question. I can't believe Crystal was entertaining Safari, but that's another story and another day. Does Crystal, does she still, have love for Neo? Does she ever, think about him deep down and wish things were different? Or what's the energy around Crystal? I believe it's Renee. Is it Crystal Smith? Yeah, let's just do Crystal Smith. How does she feel about Neo? It's hard to deal with him, right? I feel like there are times they're fine, but she, in her mind, this is almost like she's saying, the only thing I can do with Neo is co-parent. That's it. Because she has in her messages, he just sent me, right? I could never trust him. He wants his cake and eat it too. I'm not up for what he's trying to do, right? I'm released it. I've moved on. In her messages, I'm not setting myself back. The only thing we can do at this point is co-parent, right? This is what it talks about. She doesn't even have I miss this man. She don't even have that. She has a lot of messages in here around, she is still healing, right? Because this represents lack of closure, lack of completion, and that they have some conflicts. But again, when you're hurt to that degree, it takes time. So I can see her still holding on to some of those things, even though she's gotten far away from it. In the next 1 to 6 years, she'll be moving on from that. But I definitely feel like for her, she's kind of like, thank God I'm not in it, right? Give me the energy around Leo. Will he get on track? Will he get in alignment with who he is, his purpose, his process? Will he stop having these people around his kids? Can't you just have your kids by yourself? Will he just get into a place where he starts making some changes for the sake of his kids and the relationship with his baby mothers? And he has the Ace of Wands. He has the Page of Swords. And then he has the Judgment card. I feel like it could happen, but it may happen with some what you call it, mediation, right? I think when people have kids and they have a person that's not complying, I think sometimes that's necessary. The Ace of Wands is, again, the potential for a new beginning. They also have in here having some talks in around, and then here there's a judgment aspect with a solution. So I can see them coming to that point, but it may take somebody to get in there and really nail some things down. This lady needs to just get to a place where she can get something concrete with him, Do not be going by this man's house acting like a jealous, girlfriend, and recording buttons and getting into no domestic street. Let me ask you, did he actually put his hands on her? Because she claimed that he body slammed her. Did he actually body slam her before that camera came on? Give me energy around Sade. Because she was trying to say he body slammed her. He did lose his cool. He has the Emperor in reverse, which represents, some sort of losing control. Well, there could be, but it almost makes me, why did he do that? Because when you see that, this talks about he felt like he was pushed. Give me the energy around why did he, and I'm not saying he should be doing it. He shouldn't be doing it, so don't start talking that. But she's also her queen of, her Empress in reverse, which means she was what? She was, okay, this represents she was creating a block, and she was, this talks about being stubborn, and it almost feels like she was still provoking him. Again, I don't justify him hitting her or grabbing her or holding her down or block. I don't justify none of it. But if you're in somebody's house and they tell you to leave and you keep going there, then this is how things escalate. If you're in somebody's space, leave. Take your kids. If you feel that, go call the police, take your kids and go. But it feels like he went there with her because she was going there with him. All right? And again, I don't justify anything with that. I'm just saying this is what it shows in the messages. Ultimately, I feel like it's going to settle down, but just know, don't be surprised if you hear that they go through some type of process to work things out. I do still feel like they could have a moment of passion and they need to be careful because a baby can come into play. But she needs to know one thing. Neil will never really be with you, girl. You wasted your time being a side chick. You wasted your time getting pregnant for somebody else's husband. You wasting your time trying to fight with him over other women because he is not going to ever be with you. The only thing you can do at this point is co-parent with your kids. Put some type of plan of action in place to safeguard your children. Get your child support and go sit down. Okay? And stop going, and if you feel your children are in harm's way, you call the police and you say, can you meet me here, right? I'm going to be in front of the building or in front of the house. And I'm going to explain to the police what's happening so we can go together to do a wellness check on my kids. Because you wouldn't go there to do a wellness check. You wasn't concerned about taking the kids. You was concerned about having a fight. All right. So this is what happens again when you're out here messing with other people's husbands. Listen, you can do what you want. I am not here to be. Listen, let me take that back. I'm not here to just be into all of that and judge. Do what you want, but you got to be careful, right? You're out here having 2 whole babies for a man, and he getting his karma too. Because even though he has this appearance and his messages show he living La Vida Loca, he still has that aspect in there of, spiraling, right? Even though he was living a double life, his marriage did give him a sense of stability. All right. So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share if you care. Thank you. I see a couple of people booking. Thank you so much for booking. And again, if you want to book with me, you can book with BlueNolaTarot.com. Click on the link I provide on YouTube or the link that I provide on Instagram. Don't do anything else. Only click on what I provide for you to make sure you get into the right space or you're doing the right thing. If you have any trouble booking, you can always email me and or go to the website and send me a message. If you're trying to book and you're having trouble, I will book it for you myself. Okay. I love y'all for real. Like Monique says, take care, stay blessed, encourage and empower. Bye. And we hope they work this all out, but this was just a little bit too much for me. The level of disrespect that was displayed, and then she apologized. So let's make sure we say that she apologized and she came back through and she talked about, let me make sure I'm not going overboard. She said let's see what she said. She talked about the universe and she talked about she was sorry and she talked to her dad. To sum it up, she apologizes for putting Neil on blast, allegedly for having drugs and prostitutes in the same home as the kids. She said full moon was out. Cycle was on. Postpartum built with frustration. Girl, you had them babies like how long ago? I mean, how long? The point? I don't know. I never had postpartum. You know, I've never had depression before, but the postpartum. But girl, the baby like what, 3 years old? She said basically, so she was thinking, she was drinking her, I guess her boba tea, talking to her dad on the phone, self-reflecting. She liked to apologize for putting their business out. Emotions were heightened, and I want the best him to show up. But I understand you can't make people feel you. I have the good faith that everything will come together. Full moon was out. Don't blame it on that moon, girl. Cycle was on. Don't blame it on those cycles either, girl. You gotta control yourself. Postpartum built with frustration. You might as well just say frustration to you. And underlining issues that we have that need to be addressed. Get a mediator. Get some help. Trying to do that with a problem present made heightened emotions. I'm human. I'm hurt. That's what I said. Look, she said she hurt. She said she's human. She's hurt. I want the best for everyone. That's all I was fussing for. Nothing more. Some understanding. All right. At the end of the day, the only understanding you need to have is that this man has your kids in a safe space. That's it. Everything else is out the window. All right. Take care. Stay blessed, encouraged, and empowered. Drop your feedback in the chat. This is our next reading. Neo, his baby mama. And then we did a little bit on Crystal Smith. All right. Peace and blessings. Bye.